Hello guys, how's it going? Screezilla here, I hope you're all well. Ah, so, taking out the M4A3E2 Jumbo. Yes, the OP tank of just OP proportions. I love the Jumbo when it's in its tier. When it's not up tiered, it is amazing. This thing is a beastly vehicle. Especially when you're going up against the Germans at around 4.3, sorry, 4.7. 4.7, that's the one I was looking for. 4.7 and below. You're just unstoppable in this machine. Even Russians, actually, I've had matches where I've been against KV-1s and simply they can't penetrate me front on. Just because you've got that ridiculous armor. You've got around about 100 millimeters of armor at the front, angled as well. It's just a brilliant tank to have fun in. It's trolly as hell. The great thing about it is it doesn't look much different from the M4A2, the standard sort of Shermans of the tier. Got an M4A2 in front of me here. And as you'll see, he's going to get annihilated by a Chatty. Front on, just straight through the front plates. Because, well, it's only got about 60 millimeters of armor. And it's not a huge thing to penetrate. Now, this guy got very lucky stopping where he stopped. But the ASU-57 took care of him there. Bit disappointed there, because that would have been a nice little kill to start the game off with. So yeah, he put the brakes on just at the right time there, and I think I saved that ASU-57 as well by shooting his gun barrel out. So that was something at least. Now I've got a KV-2 up there. A little bit scared of that thing, so I take a few shots, miss, fire I think over it. I'm a little bit high there. This is my first game of the day as well, I'll just add, so I'm a little bit groggy. Not had enough coffee. Now, the Jumbo was created as a heavy assault tank. It basically was there to break through lines and to go front on. It was designed to be able to take shots from anything the Germans had frontally, and it does that very well. This thing is a beast when you go front on. You got to watch your sides because your side plates can be penetrated. You've still got some relatively good armor at the side, but you don't have enough to stop everything. So you want to take things on from the front. Got a whirlwind there. Line up the shot. Somehow, the explosive charge of the shell does not kill the other two gunners. I just don't know sometimes. It's just a miracle, I suppose. But yeah, this tank is an absolute joy to play when you're at the right BR. When you're up tiered, it is a bit more frustrating because you're slow. Your gun can't go through things like the IS-2 and IS-1 front on. You have troubles with that, and Tigers and things like that become problematic. You can face the Tiger in this tank, and it is pretty miserable when you do. It's not to say that the Tiger is impervious to you. Now again, one of those shots that you just question. I don't know how that wasn't a hull break, but well, we've got 50 cows on board, we might as well use them. So we've got a Soki and a whirlwind over there. So another kill with the 50 cows. One of the great things about this tank is that 50 cal up on top, because this here is deadly. Because it's got such good height on it, you can actually attack people who are slightly below ground because you've got quite a high vantage point up here. So it's really handy. Missed my shots on the Soki there. It's okay, it's only a Soki. Now I've got to keep an eye out to my left just in case anything comes around. But, well, taking out the driver and taking out his crew. So that's 3 kills with my 50 cals. I think that's always good when you can do that in a game. The other good thing about that 50 cal is it's good for anti-air defense. I've killed quite a few planes with American tanks just with that 50 cal. It's a really good gun to have there, and it is just perfect for anti-air defense. It's one of the reasons that it's quite hard to bit of a bounce off the Panzer IV there. It's one of the reasons why America is so dominant at the moment in game, is because with the spawn, not the cap point charges that people do at the moment to get planes, and the rockets the Americans have. As you see there, the Panzer IV can't penetrate me. We get him there. He's shooting for my front plates, and there's nothing I can do here. Now, there's a NATO coming up, and that has got a very good gun on it. The Japanese guns are pretty deadly. They can actually do some damage to the jumbo, so you've really got to be careful of those things. I managed to take out his gunner there. Again, somehow the shrapnel does not kill anyone else inside the tank. Trying to get a shot off, just a little bit low there, so more so keeping him below ground. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the air domination, you know, it's one of the problems because Russia and Germany don't really have those top-mounted machine guns, which the Americans have. So the Americans have good anti-air defense, as well as having some of the best ground-attacking aircraft and OP rockets, and the fact that you can just rush a cap, get enough points to jump into a plane, and then just rocket attack everybody. Actually, yesterday I was playing around and I managed to get something like 5 kills with my plane in about a minute, because simply I was in the Mustang, so I only had 6 rockets, so I only had 3 salvos to fire. But the guns on that thing, the 50 cals, are so good you can penetrate in most things anyway. We've got another Panzer here. He stops, and that's a mistake. So that's him gone. Now the NATO's coming up to the side there. I don't see him. Don't see him. Oh, there we go. He fires straight into my front plate, does bugger all, and that's the end of his day. That's the thing with this tank. You have to shoot carefully. You have to wait until you get the right position on the jumbo. You can't take the shots at the front because it's very rare you're going to penetrate. Even the lower plate on this thing is just ridiculously strong. Now, this is the end of the game pretty much, so I'm going to stop it here because the rest of this is just boring. Nobody else spawns, and it's just sitting around, just doing nothing. But we're just going to return to hangar quickly, and I'm just going to show you just on the front of the jumbo. So as you see, I have bush tonk, but front on, the lower plate, 114 millimeters. This plate here is where you're probably going to get the best chance of penetrating, just because it's not that angled, so you only need about 150 to 140 millimeters of penetration to get through sometimes. But once you're up here, you've got that front plate, and then you've got the extra 100 millimeters, the extra 60 millimeters of armor behind it. So it's pretty impossible to penetrate. You can go for the gun. If you do shoot for the machine gun here, you do have a chance of penetrating, but again, it is very hard. The turret ring can be a good spot to go for, just underneath, but again, it is quite trolly and quite strong here. Cheeks, again, you're not going to have much chance. If you do get a good shot, you can go through the top here, but the trouble is you do have this mantlet here that's going to stop pretty much everything. The cupola, if you can get a shot on it, go for it, because that's where you're going to get a penetration for sure from the front. Now, of course, angling can be done with this tank. Generally, slight angle is good, because again, if you look at the side armor, you've got 76mm of armor here. Not much is going to penetrate it from the side. However, you have got this track section here. If you do get a shot just between the track and this upper plate, you can penetrate quite easily through this spot. This is a real weak point on the tank. So you want to aim your shots generally through the suspension here if a tank is at this angle, because that way you are going to penetrate and you will cause a lot of damage. The actual turret is really trolly. Again, even from the side on, this tank is still bloody strong. From a straight side shot, you still need 70mm plus of penetration to go through the side at least. Whereas with the standard Sherman, it's only 38mm of armor. You can really see the difference of the two tanks here with the thickness. If you actually look at them, though, in comparison, they don't look much different. And it's very hard, unless you know what you're looking for, to know the difference between a jumbo and a standard Sherman, especially if somebody puts a lot of bushes on the front, which is what I do, because it throws off the eye a little bit, so it's a bit harder to tell if it is a jumbo or not. Back is where you want to attack this tank from, because you are going to get through on the back, but don't go for the turret, because again, look at the armor. You want to go for the engine here, and just shoot up the engine as much as possible. Pretty much this tank is a monster. It is, again, weak from the air, of course. If you have got a plane, you can dive it and do some serious damage, because the top plates here are bloody weak again. It also means that artillery can penetrate quite easily. Also, if you are using the what am I looking for? The Ho-Ro, for instance. If you manage to lob a shell on top of this thing with the Ho-Ro or the German artillery or the Russian artillery, you will do an awful lot of damage to this tank, but you need it to go down and actually go on top here, because once it's on top, it will just blow straight through that armor and kill everybody inside. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm back at work now, so I am a bit less active than normal, so I do apologise about that. Good news is I'm back at work, so finally on the mend health-wise. Hooray! Excuse me. But just bear in mind, I won't be on as much as normal, just because it does take me a bit of time to recover after working, just because I am very, very sick. So yeah, don't panic if I'm not around for a few days. So have a great day, and I will see you next time. This is Screezilla out. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.